Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am creating a rainbow shadow stacked sentiment die cut. How is that for enough words in a title for you? But basically, I'm taking the idea of stacked up sentiments to add dimension, and I'm adding some rainbow colors behind that. And what this is going to do is, from the front, my die cut sentiment is going to look just dimensional and white. But when you turn it to the side, you're going to get that rainbow of color peeking out. So I'm starting out with the Magical Sparkle Word die set from Hello Bluebird, and I'm die cutting it from some Nina Heavyweight Solar White cardstock, and I am using a metal shim in my die cutting sandwich here. So I've die cut that 3 times from the white cardstock. And now I'm going to take the same die and I'm going to die cut it from a rainbow of textured cardstocks. Now this is the cardstock that I used for that rainbow that you're seeing at the top of the screen right now. I just wanted to point out that those dies and that stamp there, that unicorn stamp, is also from Hello Bluebird, but they are not a part of this card that I'm creating here today. Totally separate card. If you want to see that card, and it is featuring this rainbow shadow stacked sentiment technique, that is a part of the ellenhutson.com Saturday video for today. So you can head on over there and check that out, and I'll link it in the description below. So now back to the actual card for today. I have my Tonic Easy Clean mat here, and I have my rainbow of die cut sentiments, and I am using my Zig 2-way glue pen, and I'm putting glue on the front of my die cuts, and I have them kind of arranged in rainbow order so that I can work from the bottom up. So blue, green, yellow, orange, pink, that sort of thing. I think I got all those right. I don't know. I'm not used to saying my rainbow colors backwards. But what I'm doing is I'm just stacking these on top of each other. Now, I really like the Zig 2-way glue pen for this because it is a liquid adhesive and it allows me just a little bit of wiggle room to kind of slide these into place, but it dries pretty quickly also, and it's just an easy application on a really delicate die cut like this. So once I've worked through my rainbow backwards, I am going to finish off this stack of die cuts with 3 of the Nina Solar White Heavyweight cardstock on top. So this is going to give this die cut a ton of dimension, and when you look at it from the side, you're going to see that rainbow of color peeking out. But from the front, it's just going to look like a white die cut. So it's kind of a fun little surprise, and it's a fun, easy twist on this idea of using those stacked up sentiments. Now, the other thing that you could do with this is create an ombre look, which is really fun as well. So now that I have my die cut rainbow shadow sentiment all stacked up and ready to go, I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to work on a card front. This card front is cut to 4 by 5¼ inches. And I am using some Distress Oxide inks and my Picket Studios life-changing blending brushes. They really are life-changing, guys. To create a soft pink background. So I have the Tattered Rose and the Spun Sugar, and I am just kind of blending these together. Now, I do like to tap my brush off on a scrap piece of paper as I load it with ink. And I love these brushes because I can get a really soft, smooth blend. And I am just using Nina Solar White cardstock for this. No specialty cardstock, just using my good old Nina. And once I'm done with my blending, I'm just going to clean up my blending brush with a baby wipe and set it aside to dry. Now, we can't have this sparkle sentiment without a whole bunch of sparkle on the front of the card. Am I right? So I am using the Tonic Moonstone Glimmer Paste and the mixed media spatulas. I like these because they have a silicone tip to them and they're very flexible. And this angled one here is going to allow me to kind of create this, what I'm considering like a glitter bomb effect. I want it to be intense in the middle and I kind of want it to scatter out from there. So if you can imagine like this glitter bomb just blew up and it's kind of just going out from the center, radiating out from the center. That's kind of the look I'm going for here. So I'm using the edge of this spatula and just kind of it's almost like a dry brush technique, just kind of dragging it out from the center and creating this glitter explosion. Now I definitely could have used like a raised type stencil here, But I really wanted like this organic look. Like when you see one of those powder bombs for the baby gender reveal go off and the powder just kind of goes every which way and it's not really organized. That's the look I was going for here. And this is a bonus because it just means that you can create this card with fewer supplies. But if you wanted to use a stencil for this, you absolutely could. I think a radiating raised stencil would be great for this. And you can see that I'm just slowly building up my like explosion design here. Now, I am going to make sure that I get all of that glimmer paste off of my little spatula here before it dries on there. I don't want a glittery mess of my spatula here. And then I'm going to seal up my glimmer paste really good, put the lid on good and tight, and then I'm going to set this glitter aside to dry. And because it is such a thin layer, it doesn't take long at all. So now I have a couple of sentiment stamps here. These are from the Sparkle Script stamp set from Hello Bluebird. And I've prepped the surface of my Essentials by Ellen heavyweight vellum with a powder tool. I've inked up my sentiments here in some Versamark ink and then stamped them onto my vellum. And then I added some gilded embossing powder from Brutus Monroe and I heat set that. And I am using my Fiskars trimmer here to trim these down into little sentiment strips. Now I thought I would use the sentiment that says spread a little and then also wherever you go. And I decided to leave out the spread a little and just have it say sparkle wherever you go. And I decided to have this sparkle die cut sentiment here at an angle on the front of my card. So I've just adhered that to the little vellum sentiment strip that says wherever you go with a little bit of that zig two-way glue pin once again. And I did want to add some dimension behind the vellum here. And rather than go for some foam tape that would be really hard to hide behind this intricate die cut, I decided to die cut the word sparkle a few more times from some Essentials by Ellen Oyster Gray cardstock. And I'm going to use this to kind of lift that entire thing off of the front of my card. And it's also going to kind of create the shadow base for this bright rainbow of die cut sentiments that I have here. So it's going to kind of add a little darkness to the bottom and help those colors to kind of stand out even more and give the appearance of even more dimension because it's going to create a shadow effect with that gray. So I stacked up 4 of those and then I added them to the back of my already stacked up sentiments. There's a whole lot of sentiments here. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But I think overall, this is such a simple card that it didn't bother me at all to spend a little extra time stacking up these sentiments. Now to adhere this entire stack to that glitter base, I did use the Lawn Fawn glue tube and I put that on there and then put a heavy acrylic block over it and allowed that to dry completely so that I was sure that this die cut stack was attached to that glitter base. Sometimes attaching to glitter can be really tricky, but the Lawn Fawn glue tube I find does a really good job. It's a great adhesive and it's easy to put on in little dots. And you're going to see me use that once again here to add some of this Nuvo confetti. Now I have a whole bunch of different gold confettis from Nuvo here. I have some, I think, squares and hexagons and then these really cool holographic gold stars as well. And I've just added those on to little dots of glue using my Marvy Uchida jewel picker here. Now, can we talk about the jewel picker for just a second? Can we, please? I like the jewel picker, but I would have never named a tool a jewel picker. I mean, I just feel like you're digging for gold in your nose with that thing or something. I don't know. Is that just me, or do you guys feel like maybe we could have come up with a better name for that tool? Let me know in the comments below if I'm the only one who feels like that or if you feel like that as well. All right, so I just finished up the card by adding a layer of the Bazzill Pale Rose cardstock behind my card front, and then I added that to an A2 top folding card base made from some Nina Solar White heavyweight cardstock. And I did add a little foam adhesive behind that card front there to give it a little bit more dimension. You could definitely skip the foam adhesive on this if you wanted to, if you're planning on mailing this. I don't tend to mail a whole lot of my cards. They tend to be handed out to people. So I don't worry so much about too much dimension because if you know me, you know I like my cards big. And here is a look at that rainbow shadow stacked sentiment there. It's a really cool effect to have this sentiment appear to be just plain white from the top, and then when you peek at it from the side to see all of that color peeking out. And I did add a little bit of that Nuvo Moonstone Glimmer paste to the top of my stacked up sentiments there to add a little sparkle to that as well. So that completes my Rainbow Stack Sentiment Glitter Bomb card for today. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube. But head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. I'm so glad you stopped by and hung out with me today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.